Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to break down 25 really important vocabulary words, and by the end of this, I promise, you're not just going to understand them, you'll know exactly how to use them. It's a huge step toward crushing those standardized tests.
Okay, before we jump in, let me give you a little secret, a super helpful trick. You're going to see that a bunch of our words today start with the letters DE. Well, that little prefix often means down or away from. Keep that in the back of your mind. It can be a secret weapon when you're trying to figure out a word you don't know.
So, our first group of words is all about sadness and things coming to an end. We're talking about that feeling of being down, but also about things that are totally finished, gone, or just empty.
Let's look at 3 different ways something can end. First up, if you feel dejected, you're sad, you're let down, it's like an emotional ending. Then there's demise. This one's much more serious and final. It means death or the complete and total failure of something big, like a company. And finally, we have defunct. This is for objects or ideas that just aren't used anymore. Think about an old VCR player. It's not broken, it's just defunct.
Now, these next 2 words both hint at something being empty, but they're so different. When you deplete something, it means you've actively used it all up, like you depleted your savings on a big vacation. But something that is derelict, well, it wasn't used up. It was just abandoned, left all alone to fall apart, like an old forgotten house on a hill. All right, so we've covered feelings and endings. Let's switch gears now and talk about words for doing things. This next group is all about different actions and skills.
Deft. I love this word. It's perfect for describing someone who is not just skillful, but quick too, especially with their hands. Think about a great piano player whose fingers just fly across the keys, or a surgeon making those incredibly precise cuts. That combination of expert control and speed, that's what it means to be deft.
This is a perfect way to think about a research project. Step 1, you delve into a topic. That means you dig deep. You search for all the information you can find, kind of like a detective. Then, once you've got all your facts, you move to step 2. You depict your findings. That just means you show or describe what you discovered, maybe by writing a report or even drawing a picture.
Let's compare 2 very, very different actions here. On one hand, to deploy something means you arrange it strategically for a specific purpose. A general might deploy troops for a mission. On the other hand, to depredate is to attack, steal from, and destroy a place. A pack of wolves might depredate a herd of sheep. See the difference? One is about careful placement, the other is about violent destruction.
Okay, 2 more important actions you need to know. To degrade someone is to humiliate them, to treat them like they're worthless. It's a terrible thing to do. And if you see someone trying to degrade another person, you should tell them to desist. Now, desist is a very strong formal word. It means stop what you're doing right now. It's the kind of word a police officer might shout.
Okay, next up, what if you really don't like something? How do you say that? Well, let's explore 4 powerful words you can use to express your disapproval. I want you to think about this like a scale of disagreement. On the quiet, polite end, you have demur. To demur is to object softly, to show you're a bit hesitant. Like if someone asks you to a party and you're tired, you might politely demur. But on the other end of the scale, you have denounce. This is way more forceful. It means to publicly and very strongly speak out against something you think is wrong. A politician might denounce a new law in a big speech. Want to turn up the intensity even more? To deplore something is to feel a really deep disapproval and even sadness about it. For example, many of us deplore the effects of pollution. Now, what if you take that strong feeling and turn it into a long, angry, bitter speech? Well, that's a diatribe. So you might deplore something in your heart, but you deliver a diatribe out loud for everyone to hear. And this quote right here, it really hits the point home. See, deploring something in silence is just a feeling inside you. But words like denounce and actions like delivering a diatribe are about taking that feeling and using it to speak out against what you believe is wrong.
All right, let's move on. Our next group of words is all about people, how we can describe their personalities, their attitudes, and the way they act.
So let's look at 2 personality traits that are complete opposites. A demure person is quiet, shy, and modest. They tend to avoid being the center of attention. And be careful here, don't mix this up with demure, which means to object. Now, in total contrast, to deign to do something means you act like you're too good for it. You lower yourself to do something you feel is beneath you. For instance, a famous movie star might not deign to stand in line with everybody else. This is a great word. Your demeanor is basically the vibe you give off. It's your overall behavior, your mannerisms, how you appear to other people. You could have a calm and friendly demeanor that makes everyone feel comfortable, or maybe a serious demeanor that shows you're really focused on your work. Here we have a real clash of characters. A delinquent is someone who fails to do what they're supposed to do or who breaks the rules. This could be a student who is delinquent in their homework, or even a bill that is delinquent because it hasn't been paid. On the flip side, a devout person is someone who follows their beliefs, usually religious beliefs, very, very seriously and sincerely. So one is about breaking the rules and the other is about following them with all your heart.
All right, we are in the home stretch. For our final section, we have a really interesting mix of words for grouping things, for talking about powerful beings, and for just expressing pure delight.
Both of these words have to do with groups. Demographic is the scientific study of populations using numbers, statistics about age, income, things like that. It's all about the data. Denomination, on the other hand, is simply the name for a specific category inside a larger group. It could be a religious group, like a Christian denomination, or it could be a category of money, like a $10 bill. One's about numbers, the other's about names.
This one's pretty straightforward. A deity is just a god or a goddess. In many ancient religions, people worshipped multiple deities, each one controlling a different part of life. You know, a deity of the sun, a deity of the sea, and so on.
And we get to end on such a great word, delectable. This word describes anything that is just absolutely delicious and delightful. It makes you happy just thinking about it. That perfect slice of chocolate cake you had last week? Oh yeah, that was delectable.
So there you have it. You've just added 25 powerful new words to your vocabulary. But here's the real secret to making them stick. You have to start using them. Try to deploy just 1 or 2 in a conversation this week, or maybe in an email. That is how you truly make these words your own. Thanks so much for joining me.